Food. Seafood restaurants are common and popular as the vast majority of the population lives near the coast. Sydney is particularly renowned for its seafood restaurants. A legacy of Australia's colonial past is the continuing popularity of British-style fish and chips as a takeaway food, often eaten on the beach. The fish, which is generally flake or shark rather than cod, is deep-fried in batter and served with chips. The type of food cooked on barbecues has changed over the years with Australian tastes. Traditional choices such as chops or sausages are being replaced with marinated steaks and fresh seafood served with gourmet salads and wine. Barbecues are also becoming increasingly popular as a Christmas meal rather than the traditional British-style meal of roast turkey and vegetables. Breakfast tends to be light and is typically made up of cereal, toast, or fruit with tea, coffee, or juice. In colder regions, a cooked breakfast of porridge or bacon and eggs is common. Vegemite, a brown spread made from yeast extract, is popular on toast.
Major sports in Australia. The three most popular sports in Australia are Australian rules football, cricket, and rugby. Australian rules football is the most popular sport to watch in Australia. Australia has one of the best cricket teams in the world. Michael Clarke is the best Australian cricketer. Australia has been in the Cricket World Cup final several times, and the last time they won was in 2007. Australia hosted the 2003 Rugby World Cup.
Traditional housing. Aboriginals' housing is made of framework, straight branches, then it's covered with leafy branches or sheets of bark. There is a system where the Aboriginals get material from the local woods. In some areas in the woods, there is a paper bark which is easily pulled from trees. But if unavailable, they use stiffer strips of thick wood. The framework and sticks bend over and meet. They are in between 1 to 2 meters, also 3 to 6 feet in length. Sheets of bark are used in forests, but in desert regions, layers of spinifex grass, twigs, and leaves are used. In the tropic north, there were more structured buildings are up to 3 meters wide and have up to 3 entrances. The beds are made of paper bark or leaves. Sometimes the walls were painted. Today, houses in Australia are mainly built out of brick. They have at least 3 bedrooms and are heated by electricity or gas. Many communities are mixed with upper class and middle class housing. One common feature of Australian homes is that they have fences around them.
Culture. Actually, there is no one single dress, uniform, or outfit in Australia, but they do have a common local style. Australians wear quite a bit of bushwear and they have their own native clothing. Australian local dress styles are different from Australian fashion. Some Australian clothing is the Blundstones and a kuba. A kuba is an Australian word for head covering. A fur cutter named Benjamin Dunkerley came up with this name in Tasmania in 1872. The akuba is a bush hat with wide rims to keep the sun off your face. Each hat needs 7 rabbit skins. Now it has turned into a style worn by many Australians and sold anywhere where there is a group of tourists. Blundstones are work shoes for Australians, but now has become a thing on the shop list of tourists. It is made in Tasmania since 1870s. The Drisbone is one of the traditional men's clothing. It was adopted by the Australian settlers from the wet weather gear worn by sailors to protect them from bad weather.
Holidays and events.
Australia has many different holidays and celebrations each year. These occasions bring people to enjoy sports, music, arts, foods, etc. In Australia, some public holidays are celebrated in all states and territories, but not necessarily on the same day. Some are only celebrated in individual states or territories. One major festival in Australia is Yabun. It is the largest single-day Indigenous festival in Australia. It is one of the most important Indigenous music events in the country.
Customs, values, and beliefs. Most Australians believe in God and some do not. The country values freedom of religion, respect for the freedom of others, and respect for law and their environment.
Religion in Australia. The main religion in Australia is Christianity. Christian denominations includes Catholic, Anglican, United Church, Presbyterian, Eastern Orthodox, Baptist, and Lutheran. About 42.4% of the population are Anglican and Catholics. Although Australians are mainly Christians, there's no official religion for the country. The Australian government believes in encouraging freedom of choice and respect amongst the people.
Australian music. Australians like folk and country music. Folk styles from around the world are represented through Australian musicians. Country music in Australia has its origins in folk songs, sung from the 1920s. Australia also likes jazz music. Australian jazz musicians like Don Burrows and James Morrison continue to attract significant audience support. Australians also like classical music. Australian classical music represented by ensembles like Australian String Quartet and Guitar Check.
Human needs. The health status of a country incorporates a number of different measures to indicate the overall level of health. It is more than merely the presence or absence of diseases. It includes measures of physical illness, levels of functioning, and mental well-being. There are many causes that can influence the health status. Age and causes of the death are important measures of health of a population. They can be used to assess the success of interventions to improve diseases outcomes, signals changes in community health status and diseases.
Animals in Australia. Many people visit Australia just to see the animals. Australia has animals that are found only in Australia. Australia has more than 378 mammal species, 828 bird species, 4,000 fish species, 300 species of lizards, 140 snake species, and 2 crocodile species, and around 50 types of marine mammals. Some of our best known animals are kangaroo, koala, echidna, dingo, platypus, wallaby, and wombat.
In Australia, they have more than 300 airports with paved runways. The Australian government, through the Transportation Department, ensures that the country has a good and reliable transportation system. There are suburban train lines in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth.
We hope you enjoy.